good day and welcome to the Supreme Petrochem Limited Q4 and FY24 earning conference call. As a reminder, all participants' lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anuj Sonpal from the Valorum Advisor. Thank you and over to you, Mr. Sonpal.
Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to you all. My name is Anuj Sonpal from Valorum Advisors. We represent the investor relations of Supreme Petrochem Limited. On behalf of the company, I would like to thank you all for participating in today's earnings call for the fourth quarter and financial year 2024. Before we begin, let me mention a quick cautionary statement. Some of the statements made in today's earnings call may be forward-looking in nature. Such forward-looking statements are subject to risks and uncertainties, which could cause actual results to differ from those anticipated. Such statements are based on management's beliefs as well as assumptions made by and information currently available to management. Audiences are cautioned not to place any undue reliance on these forward-looking statements in making any investment decisions. The purpose of today's earnings call is purely to educate and bring awareness about the company's fundamental business and financial quarter under review. Now, let me introduce you to the management participating with us on today's earnings call and hand it over to them for opening remarks. We have with us Mr. Rakesh Nair, Executive Director and Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Dilip Deole, Chief Executive of Finance and Accounts, and Mr. D.N. Mishra, Company Secretary. Without any further delay, I request Mr. Nair to start with his opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anuj. Good evening, everybody. It is a pleasure to welcome you to the earnings conference call for the fourth quarter and financial year 2024. The operating income for the fourth quarter was 1,563 crores, which grew by around 32% against the previous quarter and by around 13% on a year-on-year basis. The total EBITDA was reported around INR 194 crores, representing an increase of approximately 76% quarter-on-quarter and a decrease of around 16% year-on-year. The EBITDA margin stood at around 11.22% for the fourth quarter. The net profit after tax was around 132 crores, which increased by 93% quarter-on-quarter and decreased by 18% year-on-year. The company's sales volume of manufactured products in the fourth quarter of FY24 increased by 17.6% on a year-on-year basis. Domestic volumes showed a robust increase, rising by 15.5% year-on-year in the fourth quarter and by 7.5% for the full fiscal year. Export volumes surged with a 44% jump in the fourth quarter and by 82% for the entire fiscal year compared to the previous year. The company could increase its export of manufactured products due to increase in production capacity. Capacity utilization across all products was 75%, including the expanded capacity. The prices of styrene monomer remained stable for most part of the year, but have started to trend upwards since March 2024 due to geopolitical tensions in the West Asia. For the financial year ending 2024, the operating income stood at rupees 5,253 crores, which was flattish year-on-year despite increase in volumes by 13.7% due to the annual average of SM prices being lower by 11% over the previous year, which resulted in the lower finished good prices. The total EBITDA stood at rupees 535 crores. The net profit after tax for the year stood at INR 347 crores. On the other updates, the company remains debt-free with an investable surplus of INR 1,080 crores at the end of March 2024. Additionally, the Board of Directors has recommended a final dividend of rupees 7 per equity share for the financial year ending 2024. As a result, the total dividend for the year would stand at rupees 9 per equity share, entailing an outgo of 169 crores. Phase 1 of Mars AVS project is progressing well, and barring unforeseen circumstances, it shall be on stream by the fourth quarter of FY25. The second phase of EPS and master batch and compounds is also progressing as per the schedule. With this, now I open the floor for the question and answer session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handset while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Aditya Khetan from SMIFS. Please go ahead.
And congrats on a good set of numbers. Sir, first question was onto the volume side. So this quarter, we already know that because of a seasonal performance, Q4 generally tends to be a very good quarter in terms of volume. Sir, if you can help us to dissect the volume growth, apart from polystyrene, what has been the growth in volumes from EPS, XPS, and the special compounds business in this quarter in volumes?
See, barring XPS, all our verticals have grown in the last year and also in the last quarter of the FY24. And the total domestic volumes, they increased in this quarter on a year-on-year basis at 17.65, and domestic volumes were up by 15.5. The EPS as well as master batch compounds and polystyrene, they all contributed to this. And also the exports. Exports also contributed in the overall volume growth, because now we have the expanded capacity available, so we could restart or resume the exports to their full force basis.
Okay. And sir, what sort of volume growth like we are anticipating for FY25 and FY26?
I'll only talk about FY25 at the moment. FY25, we see a growth of around 8 to 10% in volumes.
Okay, but sir, so considering now XPS expansion, special compounds also will be expanding, still, sir, a lower growth guidance as compared to this fiscal?
All these things would be on the EPS and the master batch compounds. Their expansion would be coming through only towards the end of the or in the third quarter of the current financial. So by the time they are fully operational and we start marketing the product, they won't be adding much to the top line or the volume growth this year. There would be some growth coming from there, but not to the full extent, because the capacities would be available to us only towards the end of the year. And also the Mars AVS would be only towards the end of the year. So all these products will add, and all these new expansions will add to our volume growth in the financial year ending 2026.
Okay. Sir, onto the Mars AVS, sir, earlier you had mentioned that by June 24 we would be starting the first phase. Now, sir, into the presentation we had mentioned that is shifted to Q4. Any specific reason, sir, for this shift of 6 to 8 months?
There are some delays in the proprietary equipments. There are delays in the delivery of the proprietary equipments by almost 4 to 5 months. So that is delaying the total schedule of the project. And so we still hope that we would be completing the project by the December 2024 and should be on stream commercially in the last quarter of this current financial.
So this is phase 1. And sir, phase 2, when we are expecting to start that?
Phase 2 will be later on, maybe by in the financial year 2026. That should be there, or maybe later. That schedule is still not firmed up.
Got it. Sir, onto the mass ABS, sir, we had aligned the capex of almost 850 crore. So, sir, at peak utilization level, like what sort of a top line we can assume, and what sort of a margins like we can build in?
See, the top line would be, and the current market prices, the top line should be around, would add to around 2,200 odd crores on the full capacity utilization basis. That will give us an asset turnover of almost 1 to 2.75 or so. So that is for both the lines put together. And as far as you were saying, talking about margins are certainly better than the polystyrene business if the demand for ABS is good in the country. But then for mass ABS margins, as I said earlier also, yes, we will have the conversion cost would be lower than the conventional ABS. But then let's see. It will be better than PS, at all I can say at the moment.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you may follow. You may again come in queue. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address the question from all participants in the conference, please limit your question to 2 per participant. The next question is from the line of Priyanka Chheda from Vallum Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, this is Priyanka Chheda from Vallum. So my question is on the delta spreads that have expanded QOQ, rightfully so. You had indicated in the last quarter that the deltas are likely to improve from the trough level. So the question is, are they back to normal, or is there any big supply side dynamics change across the globe, or should we consider this is to be a new normal?
See, the world is very dynamic, but as on date, considering the given circumstances, we hope that the deltas have stabilized. At the moment, they appear to be stabilized, but then the way the global issues, the geopolitical issues, are happening, so very difficult to predict in future. But currently, the way things are, they look to be stabilized.
And just to clarify, there was no one-off in the product mix that we have sold in Q4, right?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
There was no one-off in terms of the product mix change. That was the volumes that we sold in Q4.
No. There is nothing like that. Only thing is that always Q4 and Q1 are the season. The seasonal demand is more because from the appliance manufacturers. And similarly, during the festival period, again, the demand from the appliances sector is better. During the monsoon period, the demand is low, and so they become the lean months. And again, post Diwali, generally they are the weak months. But otherwise, the non-OEM demand is always kind of steady during the year.
Perfect. My second question is on the mass ABS market potential. So now,
Hello.
Priyanka, you are not audible. Priyanka, you are not audible. Due to no response, we are moving to the next participant. So the next question is from the line of Karan Shah from CWS. Please go ahead.
Hi Rakesh, this is Karan from Chanakya Capital. Sir, just if you can help me understand a couple of things. So first, I was just calculating the annual EBITDA and the EBITDA per ton figures. So if you can help me please understand, why has EBITDA per ton declined in FY24 compared to FY23 and 22?
22-23 and 21-22, they were an aberration, I would call, that because of the global deltas are very high, given the post-COVID, certain plants were underutilized globally. They were not operating to the full extent. The freight rates were very high. The supply chain had disturbed. So the global deltas of all polymers, not only of polystyrene or EPS, but all polymers, they had shot up. They had increased over the normal long-term averages also. So that was the reason that the year 21-22 and 22-23 deltas were pretty high. Now with freight rates coming to normal and the COVID being an history only now, so back to normal.
So the FY24 EBITDA per ton figure is a sustainable figure. Yeah. Am I right in that assumption?
Yeah, that's right. As I said for the previous person, that given the circumstances currently, these are the numbers which look to be stable now.
All right, thank you. And the second question that I wanted to ask was, if you can please help me understand the purpose of the land acquisition at Karnal that you had recently done.
So we find that there is apart from West India, North India is a major demand center and a major growth center also. Currently of the total market for PS and EPS, almost 1/3 of the market is up from the north. So we decided that we should have another center for our future growth up in the north. Yeah, we are in Panipat, Karnal area. And we would be setting up there more of downstream units also, apart from the polystyrene and expandable polystyrene. We are planning to go there more downstream into which are more related to the construction industry, like 3D boards, sheeting material, as well as the extruded polystyrene.
All right, got it. And sir, just one last question from my side, then I'll join back in the queue. If you can just help me understand, because I was just going through the cash flow statement. So we had a high amount of inventory going out. So any specific reason for that? Because we generated a lot of cash primarily due to working capital movements, specifically inventory. If you can help me please understand that as well.
So there is no such thing that the inventory moving out. If you are looking at the last year's inventory versus this year's inventory, but if you look at the breakup of the last year's inventory, it was more of a raw material inventory, because our raw material is imported, and at times the bunching of shipments and all causes inventory to go up. So the last year, in the last month of the year, we received some bunched quantities of raw material, so that took our inventories up. That's it. Nothing different.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I'll join back in the queue.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Krunal Shah from INAM. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir, and congratulations on the good set of numbers. So my question is on mass ABS. So can you help me understand, what are the key factors that will help us compete with imports? Because we're looking at import substitution with mass ABS. So can you help me understand that, sir?
So, you see, if mass ABS is only the route of manufacturing. Mass ABS is different. It's not a batch process. In the conventional suspension grade method, you make high graft rubber separately, you do sand separately, then you do one does the compounding of it. So that's how the ABS is produced. Whereas in the case of mass ABS, everything is done through the reactor, and it is a continuous process, like the normal polymers. So it's not a batch process, and it is a mass ABS that the whole product is coming through the reactor directly.
Okay.
And the only difference is that since in this you have the standard recipes and standard grades, whereas in the case of the conventional method of ABS, when you are doing compounding, you can, for small batches, you can vary your mix if one wants to. But then here we would be giving the whatever the standard grades which we have and which are used for all applications. So there is no difference in the mass ABS or the conventional ABS.
Okay.
As far as the product applications are concerned, or as far as the product properties are concerned.
Okay, so there is no difference in the end application, irrespective of whether it is mass or batch ABS.
Yeah.
So, but because it's mass, we need to still compound it further for the customized applications which batch allows to do easily.
So that is very small part of it now. Once you have standard recipes which go into say 95% of the applications, so that is it.
Okay, but then in terms of cost, how is that shaped between the two, which is cheaper or what is better?
It is a continuous process. Automatically the conversion cost goes down.
Okay, and by how much percentage, sir?
I won't make a guess at this stage unless we are on stream, because what numbers we have is from our collaborators, but then unless we have put it into the practice, not fair for me to comment on that.
Got it, sir. So also one more question is that, there are like players like INEOS who are adding significant capacity in China. So wouldn't that put even further pressure on us because our capacities are much smaller compared to these guys? So their costing will be lower and they'll be able to leverage it on a better scale.
For 600,000 tons of ABS in China.
Right.
That's news. But then see, India currently has a demand of over 300,000 tons, which is increasing, and which maybe if it goes up by 5, 7, 8%, so I think by the end of financial year 2026, it should be closer to 340, 350 minimum. And currently, India produces only around 140, 150,000 tons of the ABS. Balance is all imported. So and secondly, what will happen is that the China capacity coming up, but then there is a Chinese demand. Okay. There will be the supply chain movement will happen because the Korea or the Taiwan who are exporting to India, they may have to look at some other markets also, or there will be some kind of competition increasing. But then and some old plants will shut down, which is a natural thing, which is happening with China increasing their petrochemical capacities. It is happening in all the polymers.
Okay. So actually, sir, I'm still not clear. As in, why would customers switch from imported ABS to the Supreme ABS if there's no difference in the product or pricing also similar?
There are many things there, because when you are importing, you are susceptible to price variations, small quantities, just-in-time supply, better quality, also many factors. Today, even polystyrene. Why would anybody buy polystyrene from us when the polystyrene can be imported also? But whereas we command a premium over the imported price.
Right.
So it is the customer service. It is helping the customer in using the material. So there are many factors which play into it.
Okay. Fine. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amar More from Lucky Investment. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. Sir, firstly, if you can help me understand, what would be our capacity utilization in XPS, PS, SPS, and EPS currently?
We are practically in all the verticals close to 75% capacity utilization.
And what maximum, sir, we can go?
We can go up to 95, 100%, but depending upon if there are too many grades being changed or other things, so some production may be lost in that. But then otherwise, theoretically, one can go to 100%, depending upon what you are producing. It depends upon the product mix. It depends upon the demand also. But during the lean period, of course, the demand is not your 100%. So on an annual basis, if one does 85 to 90%, it is good.
But sir, do you think 90% is possible? Because even in this also, you have to change a lot of grades, and then there will be
it's possible.
Time. So
90%.
Practically, what is possible? So theoretically, everything can go to 100%.
90% is possible practically if the demand is flat throughout the year.
90%, you're saying?
Easily possible.
Oh, okay. And secondly, sir, at a current gross block, what is the basically, what kind of peak revenue we can see on the current gross block?
You are asking me. Yeah, the on the current gross block, which is there, excluding what projects are under implementation, we can, at the current market prices, we can have a peak revenue of around 6,500 crores.
6,500 crore plus the initial implementation of 2,500 crore from the ABS part.
Yeah.
Which we can
yeah.
1,500 and 2,000 at a current price. Got it, sir. Got it. Thanks, sir. I'll come back in queue.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Aniruddha Jain from HU Company. Please go ahead.
Congratulations on great set of numbers and Petrochem for the ongoing capex. So I just wanted to understand what is the competition landscape currently we are having in India, and we had a good turnaround in the export business. So just wanted to have some color on the export strategy going ahead.
Sorry, can you repeat your last part of your question? Your voice was breaking a bit.
Sure. So I just wanted to have some color on the export policy for the company as it has improved significantly on year basis.
As far as exports are concerned, for our priority is domestic market, and the exports are also, we are there, but then after meeting the domestic demand, we would be exporting. Going forward, that is what our policy would be.
Okay. And the margins are better in export?
No, not now. But then they are fine. They certainly add to they give a good contribution to us. And but they are not as good as the domestic market. But they are good.
Okay. And just a small clarification. So, based on what you have answered, just to the last question. So, technically, our revenues in next 2-3 years can reach around 5,000 crore plus around 2,500, so 7,500 crore level. Correct?
See, our volume last year for the last financial year is 5,200 crores.
Mm-hmm.
And with the current gross block what we have, or the current capacities what we have, we can go to up to 6,500 crores on a 100% utilization. And on that, the balance, whatever new capacities would add on to that, that would be the revenue for us based on the current prices and 100% utilization of the capacities. Then.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nirman from Unique PMS. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, my question is related to ABS again. So, Supreme is putting capacity and the existing two players have also announced some capacity additions, almost double or triple the capacity. So, why particular so related to the timing, so everyone is increasing their capacities right now. So, is there any change in the demand scenario, or is it expected to grow faster in the next 2-3 years, or can you throw some light here?
There is currently large gap in the local demand and supply. And secondly, with the appliances sector doing well, the two-wheeler EVs and the four-wheeler EVs, they are also growing. So you will need a lot of ABS for the EVs as well as their batteries. So it's all projected that the market will grow.
But then, sir, would there be a situation of oversupply given a lot of capacity would come in?
Possibly for some time in between, maybe yes. That I really can't say on the timings of the implementation of schemes by the other players, when and what time, because if it's going from now, by then in any case the demand would have grown up. So there may not be any mismatch there in the demand and supply. So it all depends upon the project schedules of others.
Right. But then historically, so given, can you give some numbers where how much was the market growing and if it is expected to grow at a faster pace in the future?
Typically, the market has been growing around same 8 to 10%, and going forward with the growth in the EVs and the appliances, it may improve.
Okay, so that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Parth Mehta from Valam Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Just if you can help me with some numbers for the volumes for FY24 for PS, EPS and XPS and master batches.
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Yes. So if you can just help me with some volume numbers for FY24, polystyrene, EPS, XPS and master batches.
See, our total volume for the year for the company as a whole is 250 for the FY.
Yes. Yes, sir, but the product level volumes were given for the previous year.
Numbers we do not give, which is the total volumes of the company which we have shared.
Okay, no problem. If you can help me with current market prices.
Sorry?
Current market prices for PS and EPS.
Current domestic prices or the global prices you are talking?
Yes, domestic prices.
Domestic, again, it is, it varies from grade to grade. And it's for GP, HI, the two varieties of polystyrene, there is a difference of almost 8 to 10 rupees, again, grade to grade. So, but then the prices are closer to 120, 125 rupees. But then they vary within the category. For each grade, the prices are different.
Okay. And just last one, trading revenue for Q4?
Trading revenue for?
Q4.
Our trading revenue is generally around 23 to 24% of the overall revenue.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shailesh Raja from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, sir. We are setting up new plant near Panipat, Haryana. You mentioned last time that two benefits that we are going to get. One is the access to North market because 40% of PS demand derives from this market.
Yeah.
And second is sourcing of raw material, that is styrene monomer from IOCL plant. My question is how much spread in gross profit level you expect from this facility, sir, because of sourcing of this raw material? Say today the spread is X for the fully imported raw material. Can we expect X plus 10% or 20%? For the payback period, what is the assumption that you have taken, sir?
It is only proximity to the source of raw material and proximity to the end market that we have chosen that location. And otherwise, always even the domestic producers, when they sell the raw material, it's all linked to the global prices. So there is what we would be saving is by setting up a project. There is the freight which we are incurring from today for sending the goods from west to north. So that is key. Otherwise, I don't see that there would be any raw material price saving per se, because the raw material prices are linked to the global prices.
Okay. Now, how much benefit will be getting, sir, because of freight cost reduction?
The cost reduction, as I said, as I see today, is mainly the freight rates. Freight rate for taking the finished goods from west to north, and freight rate maybe from port to the plant, which is we are incurring today. There it will be closer to that, so that savings would come.
Okay, sir. So my next question, with the current prevailing spreads, can you please rank the product-wise ROC? Sir, it is fair to assume that our XPS are more lucrative than other products.
You said product-wise?
Can you please rank ROC, return on capital employed?
Oh, return on capital employed for us, the ranking-wise, of course, XPS is the best.
Okay.
And then comes the polystyrene. Because the polystyrene is a plant, we have many lines of various vintages, so there the return on polystyrene is good. And our EPS and SPC and EPS.
Okay. Sir, we are expanding XPS capacity by 1 lakh in cube and 50K in compounds capacity. So how fast we can fill these capacities, sir? What are the initiatives that we are taking to reach optimum utilization level?
The part of the master batch compounds capacity and EPS phase 2, they are getting implemented this year. EPS phase 2 is getting fully implemented this year, and the compounds part of that is getting implemented this year. And the benefit of that would occur to us only in the next financial year. And we hope that in the next 2 years we should be able to fully utilize the capacity.
Okay. So just one last question. So what is our total PS inter-sales volume to XPS for this year?
Sorry?
What is our total PS inter-sales volume to XPS?
That I won't tell you, sir. Sorry, I won't tell you that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Karan Shah from CWC. Please go ahead.
Hi, Rageshji. So, a couple of questions. So, first, the ROCE profile for ABS will be similar to PS or will be slightly better?
Sorry, which profile you said?
The return on capital employed for ABS will be similar to polystyrene or on a better terms compared to polystyrene?
See, the capital, the fixed capital or which is going to get invested now is much higher. Because polystyrene plant, the new line is there. It's a brownfield project we set up. The earlier lines are also a few years old. So the capital investment certainly, and they are depreciated plants. So the return on capital employed for polystyrene is much higher, whereas ABS is a capital intensive project and it will be a new investment. So to begin with, I think the return would not be in line with the polystyrene's ROCE.
Which is fair, but sir, going down the line, let's say when the plant is at peak maturity in terms of asset turns, then can we expect a similar ROCE profile?
Yes, we can. Then we can. Going forward, couple of years down the line, yes, it's possible. It's possible, why not? But then immediately it is not.
Definitely. And sir, one more question on those lines. So, as of now, you have approximately 1,100 crores cash and liquid assets on your balance sheet, and ABS has already been done and completed in terms of capex. So, any plans as to how to utilize the cash in a better manner going forward 1 year or 2 years down the line?
We have already announced our project at Karnal, and going forward, the Karnal project, what we have estimated today will cost us around 850 odd crores, 800 crores there as well. So this monies will be used. Gainfully, they will be used for the further expansions.
Got it. And so one last question. So I was just going through the employee cost figures, and there is an increase of approximately 16 to 17% compared to the last year. So just wanted to understand, is this in line, or is there any addition of any key managerial executive at the medium or to the top level?
No, see, we are expanding. We have to also now increase our manpower for the new verticals, for the expanded capacities. So the number of manpower have gone up. And of course, there is a general increase in the wages. And for the team members of the company also, we have periodical revisions. So all that has come together there.
Okay, got it, sir. And so, sorry to circle back. So the Karnal capacity expansion of 800 to 850 crores is excluding PS, EPS, the EPS and the XPS expansion, correct? That is just for the downstream products and separate from what you had.
For Amdoshi are separate and Karnal is separate.
So Karnal is a completely greenfield new project.
Yeah, it's absolutely greenfield new project.
And similar asset turns will be expected on maturity?
On maturity, asset turns would be similar.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next follow-up question is from the line of Priyank Chheda from Valem Capital. Please go ahead.
And within the standard grades and the customized grades of ABS, since our mass ABS would be a standard grade product, so out of 3 lakh ton of industry, is there a bifurcation that we should look forward for?
No, there is no bifurcation we have to look for, because the standard grades are what are used generally. 95% of the applications would take that.
And there is no further compounding required on our standard grades for our before the step that we supply to our OEMs. Is that understanding correct?
So one can do compounding only for the remaining 5% applications if required. So if I do the compounding and then I can meet even the remaining 5% applications also.
Got it. And even in the current demand structure of 3 lakh tons, including imports of another 1.5 lakh ton, all the demand is catering towards the standard grades of ABS.
See, whatever is imported, if you see what are generally grades which are imported, they're all very standard grades. No?
Okay, and the domestic capacities that are currently there are also catering to standard grades?
They are also standard. You can, while they are doing compounding, the compounding, so we can do whatever one wants, one can do there. There is, but then this is the normal standard grades are there always.
Okay. And my second question is on the export side. So while we understand that you have a spare capacity after domestic demand to be catered into exports, in case in future, when we are expanding on the larger capacities, are we that cost competitive versus the other players in the world? And given that our raw material is getting imported, we will have to incur another freight cost to export. So how far are we cost competitive in the export market?
Had we not been competitive, people would have not been buying from us, or we would have not been producing and exporting if we were incurring losses. See, our quality is good, and we regularly supply to Europe, Asian countries, Gulf, and America, South America, we have customers in all the continents today. And so you would be surprised that we exported last year to Japan as well.
Right. So the arithmetic that we're not able to solve internally is while there is an imports, there is a export market that is getting developed. So where is the disconnection between, first catering down the import market in India and then looking forward for export? If you can help us with that.
One needs certain grades, specific recipes. So if I am able to supply that and meet the requirement of a customer, he may be wherever he may be, but then if there is a requirement and I can fulfill that, I get my price, I export. So import goes on. In India, the polystyrene is imported. It's not that in India polystyrene is not imported. The polystyrene is regularly coming from countries like Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, Iran. So that material comes. And we export. We export to countries like Italy, we export to Spain, we export to Turkey. We export to North Americas, we export to South Americas.
Right. So the underlying message that I should take is that the grades that are getting imported are different than the grades that we would be exporting, while there can be a potential of the grades in case we make to replace the imports within polystyrene also.
And also what matters is in the importing country, their local production may be in X part of the country. Their internal freights could be different. They could be very high. Their handling costs internally could be very high. This plant could be in the other part of the same country. So they have to look at their economics also. And quality and customer service. So we proudly say that our grades meet the best of the grades in the world.
Got it. Thank you for all your detailed answers.
Thank you. The next follow-up question is from the line of Krunal Shah from INAM. Please go ahead.
One question I have, so with EVs coming in, does the consumption of ABS and polystyrene per vehicle change? Does it go up and down, and by how much?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
With EVs, with electric vehicles coming in, two-wheelers and four-wheelers, how much is the consumption of ABS and polystyrene per vehicle changing?
Sorry, I don't have that information with me. I don't have that information.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the Madhur Rathi from Counter Cyclical Investment. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Sir, I wanted to gain your understanding on the Chinese overcapacity as well as can this affect our margins going forward. So if you could just help me understand that.
Your voice is not clear. Can you please repeat your question?
Sure, is it better now?
Yeah.
Sir, I wanted to gain your understanding on the Chinese overcapacity and can this affect our margins going forward in FY25 and beyond?
As far as polystyrene is concerned, there are no exports or very minimal exports to India from there.
So we have
any impact of any impact of Chinese increased capacities on the Indian polystyrene market so far.
Okay. And sir, on the ABS side?
On the ABS side, yes, the supply chain would change in the sense that the countries who are, if they are supplying to China, they would have to look at other markets. They may look at the Western markets. Some of the old plants may get mothballed. So that turnaround will happen once the Chinese are they have implemented their this latest 600,000 tons of ABS capacity. So they are fully self-sufficient. Then they would look at not importing maybe or reduced importing, and the exporters to that country will have to look at the other markets. And the old uneconomical plants, small size plants, may consider closing down.
Okay. Thank you, sir, and all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amar More from Lucky Investment. Please go ahead.
Sir, just want to understand, this mass ABS capacity which is going to come, let's say, at the end of this year, what kind of utilization we can expect in the first year, like FY26?
We think that we should be able to do around 50% plus in the first year.
Okay. And at 50% plus, we would be making some profitability?
Difficult to comment at this stage.
Okay. And sir, in terms of our capacity, just wanted to understand, currently the XPS capacity would be, if you can give us the product-wise capacity, sir, is it possible? XPS, PS.
Polystyrene is 300,000 tons.
Okay.
EPS is 110,000 tons.
Okay.
SPC is installed is 35,000 tons.
Okay.
But effective, you can say because there are many grades. Effective 25,000 tons. You can take SPC 25,000 tons. And XPS is 72,000 meter cube.
Okay. 72,000 meter cube. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. As there are no further questions, I now hand the conference over to management from Supreme Petrochem Limited for closing comments.
Thank you all for coming and joining us today on this investors call. Thank you.
On behalf of Supreme Petrochem Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.